Okay, so now that we have some understanding of chars and how they work, which is just that they're just a character associated with a number in the ASCII chart. And so an A is just a 65, a B is a 66, and that's what's actually being stored behind the scenes is when we say, equals a capital A, char blah equals a capital A, what is happening behind the scenes is that they're saying, okay, that's a 65. And it's doing that translation from the ASCII chart. All right, so with that understanding, I know that my lowers, back to what we were doing there, start at a 97 and go to 122. And so if I start to think about how I can solve this dilemma, I could do those bunch of if statements, and there may be other ways that I could do this. But the way that's coming to mind for me is, look, I know that if it's a A, it's going to be a 97. If it's a B, it's going to be a 98. And so I can look at that character and make those comparisons. So I could, first of all, check to make sure, because we don't want to count spaces or commas or periods or anything else that might come up in our little array here. If this is a comma, we don't want to count that. It's a space, we don't want to count that. And so I can first of all make sure that it's a letter by verifying and saying if C is greater than or equal to a, let's find our chart, because I made it lowercase, a 97, and, which is 2 ampersands, C is less than or equal to a 122. So if that character is between 97 and 122, which I'll just make a little comment in here to tell myself what I'm doing, check to make sure it is a lowercase letter. All right, so we're going to check to make sure it's a lowercase letter. If it is a lowercase letter, then what do I want to do? Well, I know that there are 26 letters in the alphabet. And arrays, the purpose of the array is to help us in situations just like this, where we have a series of the same thing, and we want to do the same thing to all elements in that series. And so in here, I can come in and create an integer array called letters. And I'm going to set that equal to a new int array that is the length of the alphabet, 26 letters. And so picture what's happening in memory is I'm creating a new apartment building, and it's going to have 26 apartments. I'm not going to be able to draw 26. Apartment 0, apartment 1, apartment 2, apartment 3, apartment 4. And so I'm going to say in my head, there's nothing in the program that's going to tell me this, that apartment 0 is for the A's, and apartment 1 is for the B's, and apartment 2 is for the C's. And then I'm going to keep track of every time I run into an A, I'll make a 1, and the next time I run into 1, I'll make it a 2, next time 3 and 4, and so on and so forth as I go through and hit those letters. Does that make sense? So I'm setting up 26 slots in this apartment, and I'm going to say for the alphabet beginning with A and going to Z. Okay? And so apartment 0 will be for A, apartment 1 will be for B, and so on and so forth. So with that, I can come in now, and that eliminates the need for me to have a whole bunch of if statements saying if this char is equal to an A, if C equals an A, then take and make that variable we'd set up before called A's, set A to A++ to keep track of that. And then when I print, I'm going to have to print 26 times, 26 if statements here. This is going to be a huge pain. And so a better way to do it, or a shorter way, a fancier way to do this, is to make this be generic. If the character so let's think about it again from the 97 perspective. So I can just take, so we're checking first to make sure it's a lowercase letter. In fact, I'm going to move this comment down here because that's just going to apply to this line, not to the whole loop. If it's a letter, then all I want to do is go to the apartment associated with that letter and store one more number. All right, this is the part where I wish this was live because then I could talk to you and make sure that you're understanding this. But instead of doing it the way that is all those if statements, if the letter's an A, go set up a variable for A, increment it by 1, 26 times, print statements 26 times. I want to do this all in one loop. And so I've got a character here. Let's say it's a capital A. I make it into a lowercase a, and then if the number is between 97 and 122, which it is, then I can take that letter and say, go to the apartment that I've created in the letters building, go to spot, in the case of an A, it would be spot 0, and increment it by 1. But this, of course, if I leave it like this, would increment always 0. The apartment 0 no matter what. I want the apartment to be related to what the letter is. And so let me just type it out here, what I'm thinking, and then see if I can explain it. If we take whatever the letter is, so C, and we subtract from that 97. All right, so I take, and if it's a 97, which is a lowercase a, then I subtract 97, and I go to the apartment that relates to that number. 97 minus 97 is going to be 0, so I go to apartment 0 and increment by 1. Let's say that it's a lowercase b. A lowercase b is a 98. It'll take 98 minus 97, which will be a 1, and in apartment 1, it will store whatever was already in there, maybe a 0, plus 1. All right. Now, this logic should, if I've done things right, go ahead and give us that count. And so now I just need to print out what the count is. And because I've set this up in an array, I can print the results from the array that I've built. And so now that I've done this to go populate the numbers in each apartment, each element of the array, then now it's really easy. I just set up another for loop, and typically we'll just reuse I unless we're using a loop inside a loop, because the scope of I here is between this brace and this brace, and the scope of this I is going to be between the new set of braces, while I is less than our letters array length that we've set up, dot length, and then we're going to increment I each time. Now we're going to get a problem here that I hadn't actually thought of. Letters is only visible inside this loop because we declared it inside the loop. And so we need letters to be visible to the entire method. So I love it when I make little mistakes like this because it's an opportunity for us to learn. And so I'm just going to take this statement and move the scope of it. So I'm going to take it up to the level of the method. And that way, both of these loops will be able to see this. The scope is now between this brace and this brace. And I can write my little code to go through and print out the alphabet, which I'll do in the next video and finish up this program. But hopefully this is making sense. And of course, let me know if there's any confusion or any questions. Spencer, out.